Hi there, thanks for tuning in to today's video. Our last situation that I want to talk about is one of the most frustrating types of attendees. They always want to seem to argue just for the sake of arguing, otherwise known as the devil's advocate. Similar to the tangent talker, this type of person might have stories or anecdotal experiences that they want to bring up that contradict your message. Or they like to play the what if game. Well, what if the customer says this or asks for this? Or what if that person's not available? Or what if we did it for them last time? What am I supposed to do now? You might know someone like this in your personal life, and it can be fun to banter with them over dinner or drinks. Could be a neighbor, a friend, a sibling. Lord knows I did this with my siblings growing up way too often. And while they're typically not malicious, though sometimes it can be, this person can be quite distracting if you encounter them in the training session. Not only do they waste time, but they challenge your authority and they can make you lose confidence. So how do you deal with this type of individual? The main thing to keep in mind when dealing with the devil's advocate is that you are in charge of the training session. You're in control and you get to determine what should or should not be discussed. You know the time frame and everything that you have to cover, so you don't have to entertain any questions that you don't think are relevant to the topic and are going to help your attendees. Now that being said, let's talk about some ways to deflect. If you know ahead of time that this type of person's going to be in your training session, maybe they're infamous for these types of questions, plan ahead. Think about maybe some of the questions that they might bring up or areas that might get a little sticky, and think about ways that you can deflect them and keep them back on track. Or you could just reply with several of the messages that I've talked about in my other training sessions, such as, unfortunately, we don't have time to go into every situation today. Let's talk about some of the more common ones. Or, that's an interesting question. Email me later and we can discuss it. Or, wow, I've never really seen that happen, but if it does pop up, feel free to reach out to your supervisor. The important thing isn't what you say, but it's how you say it. So pick a couple of these phrases, get comfortable with them, practice them in the mirror, because the more confident that you appear, the more control you'll be in, and the smoother your training session will run. Well, that wraps up for today, and that's the end of our videos on limiting distractions in the training session. Feel free to go back to some of the prior videos if you missed them, or to revisit some ways on how to limit these distractions. And don't forget to like and subscribe to make sure that you're updated about any other training topics we discuss. And go to our website at phineasgts.com to learn more ways on how to awaken your financial genius.